Everyone, welcome to the show. So, an associate of convicted sex trafficker Joel Greenberg has pleaded guilty to sex trafficking, also defrauding the government in regard to COVID funds. His name is Nabil Dajani, and he's agreed to a cooperation deal. So, he's going to be dishing the dirt on others who are under federal investigation. And here's what the deal is. Here's what he's copping to. Dajani worked with Matt Gaetz's former BFF, Joel Greenberg, to submit numerous false applications for small business COVID funds. According to the prosecutors, Dajani received approximately $300,000 for false claims that he submitted. And then Greenberg gave him a slice of his false claims. He gave him $16,000. So in total, Greenberg received over $430,000. And then there was also a co-conspirator. So this person isn't named in the court documents, but it says that this person is a Florida resident and a member of the Small Business Administration. And I'll give you some details on who this is. It's a woman, and she was apparently paid by Dajani in the form of bribes and kickbacks. So she helped them facilitate these false loans, and then they gave her a little slice of the pie. In regard to the sex trafficking, Dajani and another unnamed co-conspirator apparently hired two North Carolina women to travel down to Florida to have sex with them in a hotel. So Dajani has been charged with conspiracy to commit an offense against the United States, submitting a false claim, and the enticement of another to travel in interstate commerce for the purpose of prostitution. Dajani's plea agreement requires that he needs to testify before the grand jury, for any grand jury, I should say, in relation to this case or if for other legal issues that they're looking into. So other legal matters is kind of interesting, right? I mean, we still don't know what all they have going on. So Dajani, for his part, is facing up to 20 years in prison for the sex trafficking and then up to 5 years for the fraud and the conspiracy. So it's interesting that Greenberg was kind of like the Jenga piece that was pulled out. It caused everyone to collapse, all the other crimes to collapse. And speaking of which, I wanted to share some other details with you guys about Greenberg associates, other associates who've either been arrested or sentenced. So first up is Keith Ingersoll. He pleaded guilty to fraud in October of 2022. He scammed an 80-year-old man, a wealthy investor, out of nearly $10 million. So Ingersoll and others, what they did was they forged documents and then they strung this investor along, and they convinced him that they were using the money to purchase real estate throughout the U.S. Instead, like with Greenberg, like with so many of these idiots, they were using it to fund their very lavish lifestyles. They were using it on private jet trips. They were frequenting strip clubs, the kind of stuff that the party of family values is known for. So Ingersoll was facing up to 20 years in prison, but the prosecutor said that he helped so much that we need to give him leniency. They said he provided substantial assistance, that's a direct quote, in their case against another accused Republican criminal. And the judge ended up sentencing Ingersoll to over 9 years in prison, so 109 months to be exact. Ingersoll will also serve 3 years of probation, and he was ordered to pay back this investor $12.7 million. And then he has to pay the Seminole County Tax Collector's Office $48,000 for other schemes that he was doing. And here's how Ingersoll caught this break in his sentencing. He cooperated with the government against former Republican operative and Greenberg campaign consultant Mike Shirley. So Shirley has been charged with paying bribes and taking kickbacks in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. He stole basically from the tax collector's office because Shirley was submitting fake invoices to the Seminole County tax collector, which was Greenberg at the time. And so Greenberg was paying them, knowing that these invoices were completely bogus. And then Shirley took a cut, and then he gave some to Greenberg. He gave Greenberg kickbacks. So of the nearly $700,000 that they stole combined, Shirley is said to have received nearly $500,000. So he pleaded not guilty, and he's set to go on trial next month on June 5th. In addition to Shirley, though, Ingersoll provided information to the feds in another case that they say is not yet public. And DeJohnny and Greenberg's COVID fraud case resulted in another sentence that was given to a woman. She is named Teresa McKinney. McKinney helped them obtain nearly $600,000 in these fraudulent small business loans. And McKinney and that unnamed SBA employee that I mentioned each received $1,000 as a kickback for each loan. So McKinney took a plea deal, but she swears she wasn't aware that the loans were for fake companies. She said that when she found out, she, quote, freaked out and said, "What do you mean it's not a real company?" And at her sentencing hearing, it came out who this SBA representative is. She and her attorney revealed that this unnamed SBA employee at the center of all of this is her sister. So McKinney said, she came to me, she said she needed help with this, and, I just try to help people and blah, blah, blah. So McKinney was looking at a prison sentence somewhere between 41 and 51 months, but the judge seemed to take a lot of mercy on her. She agreed that McKinney was the least likely person to commit a crime. She said, "In all my time on the bench, you are someone that I just don't understand it. I don't get it." So the judge cut her a huge break. She sentenced her to only 5 years of probation. And then she gave her 100 hours of community service, but it's 100 hours per year of those 5 years of probation. So 500 hours total. Plus, McKinney has to reimburse the SBA. She has to pay them back $587,500. So little by little, the Florida trash is being taken out. I mean, it's not quick enough, but at least it's being exposed. It's being punished finally. There's so much more rot in that state. It's unbelievable. It's important for everyone to understand, yes, the system may take a long time, but in the end, not always, like in the case of Matt Gaetz, but most of the time it does work. Most of the time people do have consequences for their illegal actions. So I will let you guys know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Truly appreciate it. Helps to keep the show going. Love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.